Nice. Now he's at least not useless and actually contributes something to the team. And now he can defend himself, but also his teammates, instead of running around in circles like a monkey. Today I will show you a quick and useful guide on how to use 2-time correctly and maximize your chance of winning. Before we start, please click that subscribe button. Look, it's cool, it turns gray when you click on it. Come on. I'll be posting more cool forsake videos and guides, so it won't harm. Anyways, let's start taking a look at 2-time, the character and his abilities. First of all, his stats. His stats are nothing out of the ordinary, but he has only 80 HP, which is a downside, making him pretty vulnerable. So you need to be more careful in game. Now, briefly summarized, 2-time is an assassin. He is a quick and swift sentinel that has ability to stun the killer, similar to Sheletsky. But we'll take a look at the dagger ability later because it's kinda special. Now, yes, he can stun the killer, but that's not supposed to mean that you have to rush into the killer just like Guess. You're not a tank. You need to be sneaky and hide around corners to stab the killer from behind. That's the most effective way to use 2-time. Okay, now that you know how 2-time is supposed to be played as, and that he's a mix of sentinel and survivalist, let's go over his abilities. 2-time has 3 abilities. His dagger, which can stun the killer and has a 0.3 second windup. You can stun the killer in front in his face, which is going to stun the killer and deal 25 damage. But stabbing the killer from behind is going to result in an even longer stun and doubling the damage, so it's 50 damage. The amount of damage you do is important, I will show you in a second why. Plus, if you stab the killer from behind, you will heal 20 HP and in front 10 HP. Then he has his crouch ability, which makes him crouch slowly. Plus he gets invisibility 3 and undetectable for 15 seconds. Using the dagger while you're crouching is gonna result in a lunge, making you go forward. His next ability is Ritual. And how this thing works is you stab your dagger into the ground and the position where you stab your dagger in is going to mark your spawn location in your second life if you die in your first life. Now that's pretty nice, but there's a problem. To fulfill the ritual, you need to deal 70 damage. And this bar to the right indicates how far you are to completing the ritual, how much damage you still need to do. So unless you accomplish that, you only have 1 life. Alright, now let's go over how to use those abilities correctly. Starting with the dagger, you obviously want to stab the killer from behind, always. But it's easier said than done. But here's a few tips I can give. You can hide behind walls or corners where you can surprise the killer and stab him from behind. When the killer is chasing somebody else, a vulnerable target like Elliot or just a vulnerable survivor, you can stab the killer from behind because the killer will not focus on you. Third of all, use it in a combo of crouching and stabbing. Crouching makes you invisible and undetectable, so the killer won't hear you because the chase theme won't be playing. And it's kinda hard to see 2-time when he's crouching because he's obviously less visible. It doesn't have to be walls or corners either, it can be something like obstacles around the map because crouching makes you get lower to the ground. Now to his crouching ability. Use it when you want to stab the killer, just like I mentioned, and use it in last man standing right before the survivor is about to die. This will make you invisible and the killer will be left confused because he doesn't know your location. Don't use it when you want to hide during a chase because the killer obviously isn't blind and he can track you. And the crouching makes you pretty slow, so don't do it. Now for his ritual ability, it's pretty simple. Just place it in a corner somewhere at the start of the round before the killer doesn't come too close because it makes you pretty vulnerable during the ritual cutscene. Those were all the tips I can give for 2-time. He's pretty good if used correctly and can annoy the killer a lot. But hey, if you enjoyed this video or if I somehow helped, like this video and subscribe for more content. Have a great day.